everyone, welcome back to the CBK Lookbook. I'm Courtney, and before we jump in, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I'm really excited to see this channel grow. I've tried a lot of things online in the past 10 years, and I don't know, nothing's grown organically like this. I started this channel, I think, over a year ago, and just to share my love for Carolyn Bessette, and I knew the show was coming up, so I thought that interest may be growing, and here it is. I'm very excited to have you all here. I wanted to talk about the love story show, and I thought when I was going to set out to do reactions that I would want to do one a week. And, I just kind of have been thinking about it, and I think I'm just going to decide to do them when they organically feel right. And the reason is I don't want to be like a vulture of the Kennedys. I think there are a lot of people who have always like kind of swarmed around the Kennedys and circled them and like made money. And I just kind of want to do things more organically. So I know it makes a lot of sense to be like, people are watching the show, like let's pick up, like some watchers and some views while things are popular. And to be honest, like I'm going to be here even after you guys are gone and the show is forgotten about. So it's okay. I'm just going to do it as I want to do it. And the other thing is, and I don't know if this is going to resonate with any of you guys or if people are going to click out after this, but I am a very big believer in the Kennedy curse, in that I think if you mess with the Kennedys, they will curse you. I don't want to have any like negative universal energy coming my way. I want to do these videos in a very respectful way to John and Carolyn. I don't want to be someone who just kind of swoops in to like make money, because I do like them. I've been writing about Carolyn for about 6 years now, mostly about her fashion, but sometimes about her life. I've read a lot of different books, and I want to do this differently than I thought. So I am going to be reacting to the show. And the other thing is the show ends. Whether you watch the show when it's airing or not, it doesn't change the ending. And that's the sad fact of life. So today's video, now that that's out of the way, what I want to talk about today is the Manicure story. Okay, so there is the story that the insinuation about the story is that the plane crashed because Carolyn changed her manicure. Now, Ryan Murphy is not the first perpetuator of this untrue story, and he probably won't be the last person. And I said that I hated the way he opened his series, and at the end of the credits, I was very surprised. I don't know why, but I didn't realize it was going to be like based on Elizabeth Beller's book, and I talked about this in my last video a little bit. Well, I talked about it a lot, but I wanted to talk about the Manicure story and kind of go through this book and see what the story actually was, because I heard, I've heard people think this is true, and I was kind of upset that he opened the story with a plane crash. But actually Elizabeth Beller opens her book with the plane crash. So I kind of wonder if he was trying to have some parody with the book, or if it's just kind of a sensational way to open something. And sensational, I don't necessarily mean everything sensational is good or bad, but listen, it is what it is. I also have shared in past videos, I don't have a ton of free time, so I just kind of have to do this on the fly with you guys. So these videos might be a little rambly, but hopefully we can enjoy this journey together of, watching Love Story and talking about it. Okay, so in chapter 1 of this book, it's called Last Night, and it is set on the night their plane crashed, July 16th, 1999. And I am going to quickly go through and find the part about the manicure, and we are going to look at it together, because I am so sick of the story. If I never had to hear the story ever again, I would be very happy. Very quickly opens with a plane crash, but then she doesn't pick it back up until chapter 24, and that's where Elizabeth Beller ends up talking about this now infamous manicure. So here's what Elizabeth Beller, and I've read a lot of books about the Kennedys. I've read books written from the viewpoints of his friends, Carolyn's lover, Michael Bergen, and Once Upon a Time is a great book because it's really one of the first books written with the perspective of Carolyn and the history of Carolyn, like super laser focused on Carolyn. Like in the other books I've read, Carolyn's more of just a side character. So here is what Elizabeth Beller, who I would call, I don't know if this is a term that exists, but Elizabeth, if you're watching this, I think you are the leading, not that Elizabeth would be watching this, you are the leading Carolyn Bessette historian at this point, I'd say, outside of our family. So, okay, here is what, where did it go? Okay, here is what Elizabeth Beller writes about the manicure. Tabloids put forth an alleged timeline in which Carolyn lingered for hours getting a pedicure, where she insisted the color be changed 3 times. Yet an eyewitness report has her leaving her pedicurist at 5 p.m. So she did get a pedicure. It wasn't a manicure, it was a pedicure. She left by 5. She went to Saks to buy a dress for the wedding the same day she was leaving because she hadn't planned on going. Carolyn was sweet to the sales girl on the 3rd floor designer section who recognized her, and they chatted about her plans as she picked out a black silk crepe Yves Saint Laurent evening dress from the fall-winter collection of Brive Gauche, their ready-to-wear line. As the New York Post reported, the dress had a full gathered bodice cinched in the back of the neck with a wide satin bow. Oh, how beautiful. The sales girl remembers Carolyn saying he had just gotten his cast off his leg. I don't know if he's ready to fly again. After the purchase, the sales girls wished Carolyn good luck. Thanks, Carolyn replied. I'm going to need it. Carolyn was headed to the car for the airport at the same time John and Lauren, her sister, 6:30 p.m. Normally, it takes 45 minutes to get to the Essex County Airport, known informally as Caldwell. They all thought they would have arrived by 7:15 and taken off at 7:30, plenty of time to land before it got dark at 8:40. But as hard as New York City is to get into, it's even harder to leave on a summer Friday. They were stuck in traffic and didn't make it to the airport until after 8 p.m. They were all late. And it wasn't because Carolyn was getting a pedicure. They had all timed their arrival at the airport to 7:30. And yeah. This perpetuation that, it was because of Carolyn's vanity. She changed her manicure 3 times. First of all, it wasn't a manicure, it was a pedicurist. But for all intents and purposes, it looked like she left it on time. Pedicure, usually takes 45 minutes, maybe. I just really hate this manicure story, and I just wanted to make a quick little video to debunk it. But as I was sitting here, I saw this quote that closes out this chapter from Jackie Kennedy. And Elizabeth Beller writes, Jackie Kennedy once said, quote, even though people may be well known, they hold in their hearts the emotions of a simple person. For the moments that are most important of those we know on earth, birth, marriage, and death. Oh. I love these two separately. And I hate how this ends. Ugh, God. Like I said, I wish she hadn't opened with a plane crash, but I think it was to parody Elizabeth Beller's book. Also, they need viewers for this story. And yeah, so it was a pedicure, not a manicure. She left on time. They were all late. I don't know if that puts anything to bed, but she wasn't late because of the manicure solely. She was late because they all should have planned to leave an hour earlier than they did. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.